The FBI is confirming that it arrested a man here in central Indiana for allegedly helping ISIS terrorists. Good evening, everyone. I'm John Stair.
And I'm Andrea Moorhead. 13 Investigates first broke this story. We tonight now have new details explaining how FBI agents caught their man.
Senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel joins us now with more information about a suspected terrorist who the feds say they've been tracking for years. Bob?
Well, his name is Nihad Rosic. He's originally from Bosnia. Moved here to the United States, where he's worked as a truck driver. But federal agents say he lives a double life and that he's part of a group that's been directly supporting ISIS terrorists in the Middle East.
As bloody battles rage on in Syria, the FBI and federal prosecutors have been working behind the scenes here in the United States. 3 weeks ago in St. Louis, prosecutors announced the indictment of 6 Bosnian nationals for conspiring to help ISIS terrorists. But what prosecutors did not announce is one of the suspects was arrested here in central Indiana. 13 Investigates has learned federal agents have been tracking Nihad Rosic for years. The FBI tells Eyewitness News the truck driver was making a routine delivery off of Ronald Reagan Parkway in Plainfield when they made their arrest. And it happened about an hour before Air Force One landed with President Barack Obama nearby. The timing appears to be a coincidence. What is not coincidence, according to this indictment, is the relationship between Rosic and a brutal terrorist group. The indictment says Rosic and other defendants provided ISIS fighters with U.S. military uniforms, combat boots, tactical gear, and firearms accessories such as rangefinders and rifle scopes. They also wired thousands of dollars in cash, all in an elaborate conspiracy to commit murder and maiming in Syria and Iraq. Investigators obtained records from Western Union and PayPal. Prosecutors say they show the transfer of money from the suspects here in the Midwest to known terrorists in the Middle East. Federal agents also monitored phone calls, emails, and Facebook to infiltrate the group's communication. According to the indictment, members of the conspiracy used coded language, referring to each other as lions. They called Syria the beach, and weapons were known as actions. Prosecutors say Rosic planned to fly to Syria to join ISIS on the battlefield. He and other defendants are now facing 3 federal counts of conspiracy and assisting terrorists.
After his arrest in Plainfield, Nihad Rosic spent 5 days in the Marion County Jail. The U.S. Marshals Service then transported him to St. Louis, where he is now facing those very serious charges.
So essentially, this guy wasn't operating out of central Indiana. He just happened to be here at the time the FBI arrested him.
Absolutely. He's actually from upstate New York, and he was just traveling through at the time. Now, it is important to point out that it was our local FBI agents from the Indianapolis office that made the arrest. They were working closely with the office out of St. Louis. And important to point out that federal agents do not think this group was planning any terrorism here in the United States, but of course funding terrorism overseas and providing help to ISIS, that's a very serious crime under federal law.
No doubt the story is still far from over.
We will continue to follow it with the help of our partners in St. Louis as well.
Bob, thank you.
You're welcome.